From my blood come the prince that was promised, and his will be the song of ice and fire.
What is up, everybody? My name is Jeremy, and welcome to the channel. And this is going to be my breakdown of the In the Weeks Ahead trailer that HBO dropped this week. And man, we got a bunch of awesome new scenes in that trailer, and just some cool stuff overall that I thought would be really cool to break down and take a look at. So without further ado, let's dive right in. The trailer starts off with Rhaenyra reading the Song of Ice and Fire prophecy, which looks like it's going to be a main theme of the show going forward. And I wonder if that's what Daemon was referring to in the earlier trailers that we got when he was saying, "Dreams didn't make us kings, dragons did." Now, there's been some speculation as to who knows about this prophecy ever since this knowledge was dropped, and seeing that Daemon was the heir for a time, I wouldn't be too surprised if he does know about this prophecy, and maybe that's what he was referring to in that early line that we got. Then it cuts to a montage of new and old scenes, and the two that stood out to me right away were Kragus Crabfeeder, which I'm really looking forward to meeting him, and we get that sick shot of Caraxes flying over that beautiful Targaryen ship with a voiceover from Viserys telling Rhaenyra that the burden of this knowledge is bigger than the throne. It's bigger than her itself, referring to the prophecy of ice and fire. And I really like how the prophecy is inscripted on the Valyrian steel dagger. It really gives it that ancient Valyrian feel, and I love how they're dropping tons of these Valyrian Easter eggs throughout the show, with Viserys creating the replica of the Valyrian city, just a lot of Valyrian stuff left and right. I'm loving that. We then get a few new shots of Daemon, Rhaenyra, and Viserys with a voiceover of what sounds to be Otto speaking to probably the Maester, saying that the king chose Rhaenyra and how the realm will never accept her, further setting up the war for succession that is going to be taking place later on. And I really like how they're setting up the whole war for succession, how they're not jumping right into the dance. It's nice to see some of the ins and outs of Viserys' reign, and how we're seeing the kind of seeds of war being planted during his reign, which is something George remarked on as well. Then we get another montage of scenes and a glimpse of Kragus Crabfeeder staking someone to the beach, which is probably taking place in the Stepstones most likely. And I'm really looking forward to this Stepstone storyline, which looks like it's going to be taking place very, very soon. Meeting Kragus, the Triarchy, the whole Daemon versus Kragus, it's going to be really epic, I have a feeling. And judging by some of the trailers that we got, it looks like it's not just Daemon and Caraxes fighting in the Stepstones like it was in the books. It looks like there's actually quite a few dragon riders. I know in the trailers we definitely see Laenor and Seasmoke down there in the Stepstones as well. Maybe even Vhagar and Meleys are down there as well, who knows? Because we do know that Daemon does team up with House Velaryon and Corlys Velaryon for the war in the Stepstones in the books. So I guess in the show adaptation, it would make sense that Corlys brings Meleys and Seasmoke with him as well to kind of, give him that much better of a chance. We then get a montage of some new and old scenes, mixed with some awesome shots of some dragons flying over King's Landing really, really fast, too. Like, these dragons are whipping over the city of King's Landing. And again, we hear that famous Daemon voiceover from the earlier House of the Dragon trailers about how dreams didn't make us kings, dragons did. Which could be referring to the prophecy, or maybe he's talking about something else entirely, but part of me feels like it's definitely prophecy-related. And it makes kind of sense for the character of Daemon. Daemon doesn't strike me as someone who would put a whole lot of stock in dragon dreams and prophecies and things like that. He seems much more, I believe what my eyes and ears report type guy. Whereas Viserys clearly believes in it, and he seems to be a little more in tune with things like that. The actor playing Viserys, Paddy Considine, did say in an interview that he feels like Viserys has a deep understanding of dragons and their responsibility that comes with them. Then we get a few new shots, and the one that stood out to me right away was Viserys holding that dagger to Daemon's neck, saying, "You're no conqueror, you're a plague." And judging by Daemon's short hair, this definitely looks like it's taking place after the war for the Stepstones, and Daemon returns to court. In the books, Daemon and Viserys have another falling out after he returns from the Stepstones, and we're not 100% sure as to what the falling out is about. There are conflicting reports, you could say, from the Maester writing the novel and Mushroom. So it's going to be fun to see what really took place there. What really was the falling out? Was Mushroom's account correct? Was the Maester's account correct? Or was it something else entirely? So it's going to be fun seeing things like that play out over the course of the series. And it makes it interesting even for us book readers as well. Those of us that read the Game of Thrones books, we kind of knew everything that was coming during the show. Whereas here, those of us that read the books, we're still going to be in for some surprises here and there, because the way that Fire and Blood is told, it's not told in POV chapters and things like that. There's not a whole lot of dialogue and details. So a lot of the in-betweens and things that are going to be happening, we're going to be figuring out for the first time as well. So that's really fun as a book reader, knowing that I'm going to be surprised here and there, and I don't know everything that's coming. We then cut to Corlys Velaryon stating how our houses are bound by a single cause. And I have a feeling he's probably talking to Daemon here, referring to the Triarchy and the War for the Stepstones that's going to be taking place pretty soon. We know that their motives are pretty much aligned, where Daemon kind of wants a kingdom for his own self down in the Stepstones, and Corlys also wants to rid the Stepstones of the Triarchy to kind of save shipping lanes and ports and stuff like that. So it looks like this Stepstone storyline is definitely going to be kicking off really, really soon, and I'm really looking forward to that. We then get one final montage of scenes that ends with a beautiful full body shot of Vhagar taking off. And I gotta say, I really like the look of Vhagar. She looks massive and ancient and just powerful up there. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Vhagar in action. I think that one's going to be a lot of fun. And later on, let's just say Vhagar is involved in some of the better dragon battles that are going to be taking place in the series. So I think people are really going to enjoy those. Overall, everything looks really great. I'm really impressed so far. And even on a deeper note, for us book readers, I'm really looking forward to seeing how everything plays out. Like I said earlier, Fire and Blood is kind of left a little ambiguous in its details, being that there's kind of conflicting reports on all accounts, and how it was written 100 years after all of these events even took place. And we know how George really likes to play with the unreliable narrator trope, so it's going to be fun to see, what was true in the books, what was false in the books, which account was correct, if any. So I'm looking forward to diving into all of that as a book reader. It's just going to be fun knowing that there's going to be some stuff coming that I don't know. And that is going to do it for us today. But let me know down in the comments, which part of House of the Dragon are you looking forward to seeing most on screen? And as always, I want to thank everybody out there for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming House of the Dragon and Song of Ice and Fire content. And as always, again, big thanks to everyone out there for watching, and we will see you on the next one.